So the Enshrouded devs recently posted a nice little teaser onto their socials regarding the next major update, and they have now posted another teaser with some more juicy little tidbits. So we're going to get straight into that and then come back and have a discussion about it.
Oh, let's watch it, Ben. Let's bloody watch it.
Sean, do you reckon the game's inspired by Zelda at all?
Absolutely not. No way. There's nothing in Enshrouded that makes me think of Zelda.
No, there's no way. Silly thought. I mean, look, so the obvious takeaways for me, I mean, we have daggers.
Yeah.
We have dual wielding, which not only with daggers, but also with swords, at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a brand spanking new loot chest.
That is intriguing, isn't it? Because that could say any manner of things. Let's start with the big thing. So we're getting dual wielding, right?
We are getting dual wielding. I think that was something that was heavily hinted at in their AMA, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
That's good. All right, see you later, people.
Thank you very much for watching. Dual wielding was something that I think a lot of people want. And when you earlier today mentioned that they'd release a new trailer, and you obviously mentioned just briefly that it was regarding dual wielding, my main question was, how's that going to work? Like, obviously before I saw the trailer, my question was, is it going to be like a left-hand, right-hand situation, sort of akin to Skyrim, or is it going to be we have specific weapons where they are dual wield weapons and you equip them and they are just dual wield? You can't have a single wield version of it. And based on the fact that
I wouldn't like that.
I think that's the case, my friend.
I don't know, man, because I mean, I am the resident expert on the warrior class and the melee combat.
Yes, and absolutely.
So I think it just replaces the offhand item, essentially, the shield, or like the little ward shield that you can use.
Okay, so you do think you'll have these dual wield weapons, but you'll be able to either have them as single or double.
I think so, and I hope so. Like, maybe you can't mix and match, like have a sword in one hand and a dagger in the other hand. It's interesting though, isn't it? And what do we think? It's limited to just daggers and... I mean, let's go back. They were definitely swords, weren't they, at the very start?
It certainly looks like swords. It could be large daggers, but no. They've got to be swords. They're not daggers, are they?
Yeah, I mean, they show multiple kinds of daggers, which we'll get into, but I mean, the ones at the very start, they look like swords. In fact, I think, are they swords that are already in the game?
I don't recognize them, but there's a lot I haven't seen.
They look similar to some other things that I've seen, but I don't know. But yeah, so maybe like dual wielding axes. Imagine like a barbarian class just running around dual wielding a couple of axes. That would be quite cool.
Yeah, sure.
I can't imagine it extends to magic.
I think that would be stupid, truth be told.
Yeah,
I would actively not want that. As much as I like magic, can you think of any game where you'd have two wands?
No.
Like that would look stupid.
Well, hey man, they're very innovative when it comes to building, so why not magic combat?
I mean, hey, if they want to experiment and try some things, but no, I wouldn't like it. The one thing that concerns me in terms of the dual wielding being somewhat restrictive, I mean, this could be just for the trailer, but there's obviously that little logo, new item unlocked daggers, and the item is 2 daggers.
I think that's just something they've done for the teaser, personally.
Okay, because it is 2 different daggers, and every single shot we have of the character wielding, it's the same dagger. So that, I suppose that wouldn't make sense regardless.
Yeah, I could be entirely wrong on this, but I think that is just something they've done in post for like the Zelda bit.
Yeah, and we don't see a shot of the character wielding 2 different daggers. So yeah, I think you're probably right.
Hold on though, bro. Look at the like orangey coloured one. That is the one that he's holding at the start. So maybe those are daggers.
Oh yes. I mean, to be fair, they're not as big as swords. I think they're probably large daggers, right?
they're big for daggers, aren't they?
They are big. They are very, very big. But I suppose the most important thing is we're getting dual wielding, which means we are, as well as potentially an entirely new biome or region of the map, however that ends up coming to fruition, we're also confirmed to be getting combat updates or combat tweaks. And clearly something large scale, like an entirely different weapon style or weapon, fighting style to some extent. So that's two big things that we know we are getting in this next update, which I think sort of supports what I said in the last video we did. I think we are getting tweaks to most aspects of the game in this next update. I think they're basically trying to tweak little parts of every single aspect of the game to make, to give us more replayability and give us more things to do and enjoy and look at, and also to lay the groundwork that they will then use to springboard the game over the rest of this year.
I definitely hope so, because I think the game's at a point where like they can't just announce, hey, we're introducing daggers to the game and here's a bunch of new weapons that you can collect. If there's no like adjustments to the combat system, then you're just adding more items and weapons for the sake of it.
They'd just be giving players like an extra few hours really of gameplay in terms of just playing around with these new things, and then they're back to square one where everyone goes, well, I've done all that.
Yeah, and we need a reason to want to collect them. So it's not like it's cool, but it's not that exciting on its own, but it's exciting that it could lead to more interesting changes.
Well, I think daggers in themselves, I don't think are particularly innovative, but dual wielding, that is an entirely new weapon class to some extent, right? In terms of the animations and the way you might utilize that as a fighting style, presumably much, much quicker in terms of dealing damage. You'd potentially be sacrificing the safety of a shield for the ability to sort of roll in, deal damage really quick, roll out, get your stand back, roll in, deal a load of damage, roll out.
I have a feeling some of these might be craftable.
Yeah, they must be, right? There must be at least some base tier level dagger that is craftable.
Yeah, well, if you go through, obviously we've got those big ass weird sword looking things, and then there looks to be like very basic looking daggers. Then the one after that, I could see that being made of like fossilized bone or something.
Bone, yeah, I like that idea.
That sort of looks like a beak, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then the one after that, potentially bronze.
Yes, I think that is probably bronze or something of the like.
So with all these new daggers coming, do we think we get weapon stands with the update?
That would be good. Me and you have discussed somewhat at length that neither of us are game designers by any stretch, but yeah. So with the devs seeming to be pushing out certain elements of the game that I think their original plan was to release much later, there's no reason why they couldn't push weapon stands and armor stands and stuff out sooner. It should be a relatively simple thing, just make it work like a chest, in that you open it like a chest, put an item in there, and then it just displays that item on a plinth or something like that. So next up, let's talk about the chest, right?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting one.
Probably the first thing you notice in the trailer, isn't it? This new chest. You can only notice it in the first few frames because it ends up being blocked by the player, but I think it's designed to match. My assumption is it's designed to match to some extent this new biome, because you have these little vines, these tiny little viney leafy things growing on it. So I wonder whether this is a region specific chest that will have region specific items in potentially.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, because it has these plants on them. I think on the left of the chest as well. Maybe that could be a mushroom growing on it or something.
Yeah.
So it's a very natural. But then again, it's probably shroud actually. It's like fungus and stuff, isn't it? It's
possibly,
like
yeah. It doesn't seem to match its surroundings very well.
No, with the rocks and stuff. Yeah, there's definitely no shroud close by.
But I don't know, man. I mean, like, there's no way they introduce a whole new type of chest just so they can put some daggers in it.
Yeah.
So, like you said, I think that makes a lot of sense, it being region specific. But then, what else potentially do you think we could loot from them? Because it can't just be new weapons, surely.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing I like about this. The addition of this chest in the trailer is, you know, it's interesting, and I think it does speak to something on a larger scale. But there's no way we can tell. We just don't have enough information. So, you know, we could speculate all day, but I think that's a subtle thing of them basically just going, there's more going on here than you might think of if you're just looking surface level.
I think one of the biggest complaints that people seem to have about the game now is just the way that you collect loot, specifically top tier loot. Obviously, until this, the highest level chest we could find were the gold legendary chests, and they have a chance at legendary drops, but it's all, well, most of it is RNG based. So really, people just end up finding a legendary chest, looting it, and if it doesn't have what they want, they just relog the game and rinse and repeat
until they get what they're after.
Yeah, and then you get what you were after, and you're like, cool, on to the next chest and relog, etc. And I think it's just become very tedious for a lot of people. And I would agree with that. That's not really something that I've bothered with until very recently, because I decided there was like a specific, you know, armor set that I wanted, whatever. But it's just a very monotonous way of collecting loot and finding cool things, you know?
Yeah. Whereas I think you'd want like some, obviously you want some RNG chests, but I think you want those to be the lower tier, sort of somewhat irrelevant, maybe resource chests. Whereas I think you want some chests that are hard to reach, be that through traversal, be that through a dungeon, that have a fixed unique item, weapon, armor in them. And I think then
we have
you'd feel so
of
much more
those.
rewarded, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we do have a few of those in the game, but even if they had some chests like you were saying at the end of a dungeon or whatever, like just to take the hollow halls for example.
Yeah.
We've mentioned this at length. Like, unless you really enjoy the building in the game, there's not really anything for you in the hollow halls.
Yeah, nothing at all. There's the blocks, and that is it. Like, there's a
few weapons. There's weapons in the hollow halls that help you get through the hollow halls.
Yeah.
They have specific perks for that.
Yeah.
But then, there's nothing. Like, we got to the end. I don't know. Maybe some people got lucky with the loot at the end, but we got to the end. And bearing in mind, some of these dungeons take up to an hour or more even to complete.
I think one of them took us like 2.5 hours.
I mean, that is us, to be fair, though.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So the average person about an hour.
Yeah.
But we were very disappointed with the loot. But also, we kind of knew what to expect because we'd experienced that with loot from the game in the past. But I think just having like a loot pool would, like a small, say like 5 items, right? But they're all either like epic or legendary. You know you're going to get something sick, but you don't know exactly what it's going to be. And that would encourage like doing a few separate runs.
Yes, sure. To get this, like the Hollow Halls collection, like you might have the scythe. You could have a very specific looking legendary staff or wand, or armor. Imagine if you could there was a small chance you could get the collector's garbs.
There you go.
Things like that, right?
Bro, I would run that.
Yeah, I'd be happy going through the Hollow Halls in order to get something like that.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't want to say I have the solution to this issue, but it seems to be the biggest recurring problem that people have, that, you know, people who are still playing the game have with the game in its current state.
So the only other thing that I think is of any particular note in the trailer is we obviously get a much better look at the not necessarily a better look, but a different look at the new biome. We're much closer to this large tree now, and it does look gorgeous. It really looks unique and different and interesting, and I think this shot also demonstrates the scale of this large tree that we're going to have to play with.
I still don't know if it's a new biome.
I would happily bet you £100 right now. Genuinely.
Yeah,
I just think you're incorrect.
Yeah, well, everyone in our last video thought I was incorrect too, which is fair. It's fair enough. I hope I am incorrect. I want to be wrong about it. I think my issue is like, you look at the Kindle wastes, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Entirely different to anything else, like the Springlands and the Revelwood and stuff like that. And then like they announced the mountain biome, and you know that's going to look entirely different. And then this, I'm like, yeah, we've got big trees and stuff, but I'm looking now that we have like a better view of it. You can see all the Revelwood trees and stuff like that in the distance, and all the vegetation and stuff is very similar to, I would say from this one, very similar to Revelwood.
Yeah, I sort of know what you mean. I do think the large tree is the thing that sets that apart, though, right? I think that's, I think we'll have a lot of these biomes where they are very Revelwoods-ish or very, is it Springlands?
Yeah, the first region.
Yeah, like very Springlands-ish. Because the most common biome type will be some level of grassland or forest.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
like not every biome is going to be entirely different.
Yeah, and these grassy, tree-ish, foresty biomes will, like I say, be the most common. I understand your skepticism, but hand on heart, there is no way in hell that they will change another biome to be this without it causing far more problems than it's worth.
No, to be fair, I'm doubling down on the Low Meadows thing, but I don't even believe it myself anymore.
Yeah.
But no, I think, and a few people said this in our last video, I think the most likely scenario is that this is west of Revelwood.
Yep, through that big door.
That big door. Yeah, I think it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much going to cover everything from this teaser. How are we feeling about it, Sean?
Yeah, I'm excited. I like that they're just giving us little snippets, and showing us different areas of the update within these teasers. So the first one was obviously primarily about the new biome, whereas this one's showing something mechanical. It does give me a lot of hope that we have big things coming in this one update that are very large scale. It's obviously a very short teaser, sort of similar to the last one. But yeah, I'm feeling really, really good. I think they're going to smash it.
I hope so, mate. I hope so. I'm really excited for those chests. I really... They're keeping that one quite close to the chest, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Mate.
What if they're buried? What if you have to dig them up?
Oh, I mean, I feel like that would suit this biome as well, right?
Well, it suits the game in general with all the terraforming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel
yeah.
like that. Obviously, there'd be some kind of, if they're buried chests, maybe there's a new NPC who gives you some kind of treasure maps, and you have to seek them out. And then, you wouldn't need a shovel. You could just start pickaxing away until you hit it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a little glow that comes out from the ground when you found the right spot. I don't know. Like we said, we're not games developers, but buried chests, why not? It almost looks like it was buried in the video.
Well, clearly, yeah, the terrain's been knocked out around it. And to be fair, there are some buried chests within the base game in its current form. There was one quest to go to Harvest Homestead near where our main base is, and dig something up there. So maybe them just moving that along a bit and creating some replayable mechanic within this update that allows you to do that somewhat commonly along this new biome. I don't know. But it is exciting, man. Yeah, I think a lot is going to come in this update.
Oh, it's exciting. I mean, as it stands at the minute, it looks like we're getting basically a teaser per week.
Leading up to release, yeah.
But I don't think we'll get many more. I think we'll maybe get like one more before the update.
Yes, I would 100% agree, yeah.
And from that one, do you know what I want to see?
What would you like to see, Ben? Tell me.
I want to see the player moving. I want some kind of movement, be that like a new attack or something.
Yeah, even if it's just the daggers in action.
Exactly, yeah. Something
seeing the animations.
Or something that suggests some kind of new combat mechanic. You know?
Yeah.
But it's all exciting stuff. So thank you for joining us, everyone. Subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this, because we're going to be covering all the Enshrouded news as it comes to us. And we will see you next time.
Goodbye.